Hey, it's Natalie with the Think Yourself Academy. How do we retain employees? This is part 3 of a 3-part series that we started with why do people leave their jobs? And the second piece was what drives us. So we've covered different meta programs that we found were connected with the fact that people would be comfortable or not inside a position, or if they are at the right place. Because very often, as seen as in part 1, what happens is that the first day of your job, you're like, oh, please like me. And you want everybody at work to like you. And then the 91st day, you're like, oh, I hate you so much. So what happens in these 90 days that people would change their mind? And how do we prevent these situations to happen? So there's 3 parts today. The first thing we're going to see is how we prevent that from happening. How do we identify what meta programs people are, and how do you rectify the situation if you happen to have people in your team that seem to not be at the right place? So we can't just let go everyone. And if you are an employee, you can't just keep quitting your job all the time. It's better if you start learning more about yourself and do a better job right away before you start working for an organization. So the prevention piece starts with the hiring process. When you're conducting an interview, there are different questions that you can ask in order to be able to recognize people's meta programs. So look them up and try to find what are their role structures, what is their affiliation work style, what is their scope, what will they go into emotions or will they go into feelings? And I do conduct a lot of interviews like this with corporations. So they go down to 4 or 5 candidates very often. And then as they conduct a few interviews, I will very often do an interview with these candidates where I will identify their meta programs. So we can create a perfect meta program for the position, saying, well, this is what we're looking for. We're looking for somebody that has this role structure, that has this criteria, that has his attention direction is this one, his level is this one, his affiliation work style is this one. And then we can find the best candidate for the role. So we do that right away at the prevention piece before the person even starts working for the corporation. And the second piece is to identify the actual meta programs of the people that are in place, because very often we look for a position without even wondering about the other people that are already there. So if you are looking for a position strictly on tasks and on their resume and on what they have done and what they're supposed to be doing, then there could be some frictions in the team, or there could be a project or a department that would not be complete. But if you already have a few people in that department that are big picture, then you need to go get some people that are detailed oriented in order to complement that. So you can identify in the position that you're needing what is missing in your organization. Of course, we always start with the position itself as to what you need in order to like your job. But most people don't leave their job. They leave the coworker they can't stand, right? Or the boss that they don't respect. So they will very often not go into a job for which the task they would not like, but very often it's the complementarity of everybody else in the team. So I will do some specific one-on-one interviews with the actual staff in the team to figure out what is everybody's meta program, so that we can find out if everybody's at the right place and what is needing as part of the team, or what kind of leader do they need. And the third piece is to rectify the situation. So let's say we identified that in our team we have, and it happens all the time, that there are some people in management position that should not be managers. Their meta program shows that this is not really what drives them. They don't like conflicts. They don't like to take care of people. They like to work alone, do their own thing, or they don't like to collaborate. Or there's a lot of positions that are filled because of the salary that's attached to it, and not, or because of the time and the experience that somebody has as a company, and then they just move up, but they don't fit in that position. So how do we rectify that? It was thought that the meta programs were set in stone, but they are not. There's a lot of different processes that we can use one-on-one with these managers to help them understand. And by understanding their own meta program, we can tell them what to be aware of and what specifically to work on when they seem to follow their meta program too closely. So here you go. You can prevent it by identifying the meta programs of the people you're hiring. You can identify what meta programs they are and what are the best meta programs for the job, and you can rectify it with some one-on-one training to really understand what are the pieces that could be missing. Organizations are built with so many different personality styles, and it is very important to understand that everybody has a different brain, and we can more than we thought was possible. We can plan all this and plan personalities to fit well together, and make people internal drivers work for the benefit at the service of the corporations, as opposed to go against what the corporation needs. So hopefully this was an interesting piece for you. I thought I would spend a few weeks on this. It is a very fascinating topic. There are, again, a lot more meta programs that I did not even mention here. So there will be the topic of future vlogs for sure. But for now, I thought I would give you a short 3-part series on meta programs because they are our internal drivers, and they are what keeps us from just staying in bed and not wanting to get up. So hopefully you had a good time with meta programs, and I will see you next time.